just got three things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
So we want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. And most of all, we thank you for Roush and Yates partnering to give us the power that we see before us tonight. Thank you for GM Performance Technology and the R07 engines. Thank you for Sunoco Racing Fuel and Goodyear tires that bring performance and power to the track. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. My two children, Eli and Emma, or as we like to call them, the little E's. Lord, I pray you bless the drivers and use them tonight. May they put on a performance worthy of this great track. In Jesus' name, boogity, 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 amen.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to RR After Dark, the official podcast of the iRacing League Racing Revolution. This podcast is made possible by our wonderful sponsors, Chapman Environmental Services, Ultimate Siding and Gutters, Nick, Butt Kicker, and Simtrax Broadcasting. I am your host and driver of the number 14 Slurp Sodas Ford Mustang, Michael Bennett. And as always, alongside me are my wonderful co-hosts, Justice Murphy, driving the number 12 All About Bugs Chevy Camaro and sponsoring it with the hat today. Nick Alves, driver of the number 24 Coastal Financial Chevy Camaro, rocking the worst F1 team. And Trevor Earhart, driver of the number 21 Black Rifle Coffee Company and OSR Foundation Chevy Camaro as well. All right, this one's going to be a good one. We're going to get to bring in a teammate of mine and Nick's, somebody we were really hoping would have a better finish at the Super Speedway because we picked him to win. That's okay. We're not mad at him. Then after that, we're going to go on. We're going to talk about what happened at Dega. We had a bunch of stuff go on. It's going to be awesome. And then we're going to look at what Dover's going to look like for Racing Revolution. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Matthew Robinson, driver of the number 1 Simtrax Chevy Camaro, number 1 in the league, also personally number 1 in my heart as well. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
Oh, it's good to have you, man.
Yeah, dude.
Dude. Oh, this is great. Well, let's just get you started right off on your first point, dude. So what got you into iRacing? And then on top of that, how did you find us?
So I'll start off with how I found you. Patrick, hands down, best broadcaster out there, told me I should join you guys. I was in C2C. Obviously, we know that's crash to crash. And he was just like, you need to join a better league, and he sent me your guys' way. And it's been fantastic since we started. The competition that we have is outstanding, and it's always clean, and it's just a blast. I started iRacing on a whim. I collect baseball cards, stuff like that, and I actually sold a bunch to buy my rig, my computer, my steering wheel, and I went all in last August. Honestly, I haven't even been racing an entire year yet. I'm only on 8 months of doing this, and it's a freaking blast.
Really? Just 8 months?
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
yeah, August.
Dude, I would have thought you've been racing longer than that. I feel, oh, you're going to pass me pretty soon. Real quick.
I mean, I'm like one of the old guys in the league, but yeah, August is when I started, and it's been quick and blast. It's just a little bit of a learning curve. I was always the one that played games and was always into the racing
simulators.
stuff.
Simulators. We call them simulators.
Sorry. I know. I was talking about like NASCAR 2000 and all of those.
Nice.
So
Nick.
like
Let's
I
just
was
interrupt our guest.
always into racing games and stuff like that, and this is always something I wanted to do, and I just dove into it, and now I'm here.
Well,
Dude, yeah.
we are glad to have you, Maddie, and even more prouder of you to be on Performance Motorsports.
Appreciate it. It's a
More prouder.
pretty solid team.
More prouder. Oh my god.
Oh, we do all right
You're
for
gonna
ourselves.
you gonna eat some chowder with your prouder over there?
Fun fact: I don't like
Some
chowder.
more.
You don't like chowder
Oh.
and you live in Massachusetts?
I don't like any seafood, dude, and I live right on the water.
You're an idiot.
Give
Oh
this
my
man some
God.
chowder.
I think they say something about like if you do a juice cleanse or something, it'll like reset your taste buds. You should try that.
I like
You're
juice.
missing out on.
I also don't eat seafood, Nate. Don't let them fuck with you.
That's oh
And you're
yeah,
from
that's bad for you
Louisiana.
too. You're from
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's arguably worse.
probably. Yeah, it's like
Jeez.
primary
All
food
right.
group down there.
Well, that's the end of our podcast. You guys suck. All right. So let's get into Dega. I had a blast, even though I ended up unofficially, I guess, right now, because we still haven't figured everything out. Finished 18th. Super fun. I felt great about it. Trevor, I'm gonna let you take this first one. Why don't we talk a little bit about the race to stage one and how that turned out?
It was really entertaining. Got up to the front there at about lap 25 or so. Had a really good pit stop, really good pit strategy with Justice's guys. However, they were kind of a little bit. I think they were about a second back going into that pit stop from the kind of the lead pack. We all came down pit road, got off really clean, caught the first 4 cars. I think it was Rob and his team. Caught up to them and kind of raced it out, but got shuffled back a little bit, and then it got chaotic in front of us. They went 3 wide. I found the middle spot, gave Justice a huge shove. Matt, I think you gave me a even bigger shove into the back of Justice, and I had to go low. Justice did what he had to do through the block, and I'm not gonna keep. Had that been the last lap, I keep my nose there, obviously, on the yellow line.
We've seen.
Yeah, I mean, look, last
We
lap, you
know
do what
how
gotta
you
do.
race those.
But
yeah.
for the stage, I'm not going to damage the car or anybody else's car for a stage win. So kind of went below the yellow line. Kevin got the run on the outside, and I mean, heck, it was 4 wide, almost 5 wide there for the stage win. So it was a heck of a finish and a lot of fun. That last that whole last lap.
Yeah, that was crazy because I was pretty content. And I told Patrick this when he interviewed me during the caution. I was pretty content to finish 25th in the stage. Like I just wanted a clean car and to still be around. So I didn't want to burn my fast repair before I absolutely had to. But yeah, I mean, Rob and those guys pitted the lap before us. We had decided let's just go ahead and go. And we kind of caught back up, and somehow I went from like 25th, and then when we came out, I was 7th because they had a couple of guys. I think Burns like spun in the pits when I watched the replay back earlier, so they had some trouble, but got out of there. And then for a long time, we were just kind of running. I think like the top 7 or 8 of us, Trevor, were pretty much clear of the field, and then they started to catch back up.
Not to interrupt you, it has been rumored that Burns's spin out was his impersonation of the Ninja Turtle he had on his car yesterday. That was the closest thing he could get to a roundhouse.
Jesus.
Oh man, but yeah, I was just glad to win the stage, man. I needed at least a damn playoff point. I got one now.
I was gonna say there's 2 drivers in here that really needed good things to happen in this race for him, and just that was you, and then obviously Nick, who came out on top, which was fucking awesome. But both of you actually, made some headway. So it's good to see that. Justice, while you're kind of talking about everything, let's talk about the super speedway package. And what are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, I've made my thoughts pretty well known today about that. Yeah, the car, and this is the good thing about driving in the sim and iRacing's connection with NASCAR and who kind of helps them out is we get the most up to date material when it comes to these packages, these tracks, things like that. And this super speedway package, most of the guys IRL have said it is atrocious. Hard most of the time to get a third line working. Now, the physics being a little different in iRacing allowed us to do it quite a bit last night, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But it's really hard if you're stuck 2x2, which we were all the way until the green flag pit stops in stage one. You're just kind of stuck, or you can take a run. Problem is, if you take a run, hop out of line, these cars have so much drag now on the nose that you need help. If you don't get help, you may as well have thrown a freaking parachute behind you because you're going to sink like a rock. And I watched that happen to a couple of guys. Just jumped out of line, thought, oh, I'm going to get some help, got abandoned, and next thing you know, there they went right by me back to 30th. So, yeah, I think that the aero package is just tough, but we did see guys make it work. We have a lot of guys that are willing to jump and help each other. We talked a little bit about that earlier, and even if you don't have teammates that are maybe right there to help you right then, if you can make enough friends before that and prior races, or even guys that aren't used to you being there, and they just go, hey, he looks like he's trying to do something, let's make something happen. You can kind of jump out and make a move. So we saw that quite a bit, but the package is not as racy as we would like. I think they could do some things to it, but we'll see. Supposedly, some of those things are on the horizon.
That was the thing, is even with that package, you get 2 or 3 guys in the outside line, you start side drafting, you can move right up the pack. I mean, Trevor and I, with like 8 laps left, went from what
10th
10th and
11th.
11th to first and second with 7 laps left. Like, it only took us 3 or 4 laps to move up. Then we had Nick fall in line with us and everything like that. But if you can side draft, especially at Talladega and Daytona, I mean, you can move anywhere you really want.
Ask Nick about the side draft. I know he ended up winning the race,
Oh,
but
we heard.
we came out. Oh, I'm sure y'all were in his team chat.
Yeah.
We came out after the, I believe it was after the stage, or it was after a caution right after the stage, and I was top line leading, and I had Kynan behind me. And I'm gonna give Kynan this because we gave him a lot of shit, but a lot of what he got involved in last night wasn't even his fault. It's just nobody wants to be near him right now from before. He's got to do more than just one race to make it look good. So I think that'll change at some point. But last night was not the night, and so I've got him behind me. That was not who I wanted pushing me. Unfortunately, once we dropped back to, I guess, the top 4 cars in the inside line, I started side drafting the fuck out of Nick. I think I pulled him probably 4 or 5 car lengths off of whichever one of you was in front of him. I think it was
me.
Berube. Oh, it was
It was
you.
me,
Okay.
yeah.
And I jumped down right between them, and then I was like, I keyed up in the admin chat and said, Nick, hate to do that to you, but I think you would understand.
Oh, it was funny. I was yelling every single turn we would go into. I was yelling in team chat. I'm like, why the fuck does Justice keep doing this? It's like, I don't know what lap it was. Probably like lap 40 or something. You said like at that stage, but then after like the 3rd or 4th time happening, I'm like, oh shit! I see who's behind you. I'm like, I know what he's trying to do. He's just trying to get in front of me to get away from the guy, who kind of that's behind you. And then it's kind of funny, you weren't able to do it right away because every single time you would side draft me, Kanye was never on your ass, so you couldn't get the run. And then finally, he was on your ass, and you side drafted me at the correct spot, and then you just slid right in.
Yeah, it was the package. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't know enough to really deal with it. All I know is that, dear God, if I'm trying to push somebody, I need you on my ass. Whatever is going on, just stay there. Like, I will push the person in front of me, but please, God, do not fall off.
Well,
There were a couple times.
that's the other thing though. If you're trying to like bump draft somebody in especially with this package, if someone is behind you and they're not within a car length or a car length and a half of you, it's like an anti-vacuum of you are not sucking up to that person in front of you. You need that third person behind you to even get to the bumper. So you even saw on the restarts, like that's why the outside lane was so dominant coming off of 2, because when you would get off of 2, the inside lane, yeah, you're a bumper to bumper in 1 and 2, but when you come off on the backstretch, you guys are so spread out a little bit from checking up that the outside lanes just glued together. They just go right by everybody. So that's why I thought the outside lane was dominant on restarts. However, you wanted the inside lane for 1 and 2, and if you could clear the outside lane, then you would switch.
Yeah, the third car in line has to basically push the first car without touching them, because if you touch them and they get to the bumper, it's wrecking. But you have to basically get them through the bubble between them and the front car. Otherwise, they can never break the bubble and never make the bump draft work. But if you have three cars in line, I had this happen in my NIS race last week. I was the second car in line. The third car in line knew just where to get to me to get me through the bubble, and we just checked out. But that never really happened last night because enough of us have raced around each other for long enough. We know how to mess with each other and get through the bubble, and no line really dominated. I want to say we never went single file. I guess with like 15 to go, there was something that happened up in the third lane and kind of split the field. And the top 14 cars single filed out, and then I was running like 18th in the second pack. There was 6 of us. So that was going, but that's the only time it single filed out. Other than that, it was double or triple file the whole way.
I mean, that outside line was very dominant. It was that bottom line you were checking up going into every single corner. It just wasn't there wasn't enough momentum to keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, even when I realized that even when you had good people up front, who were doing a good job at leading that line and trying to go as fast as we possibly could, even then the checkups were awful. I mean, I guarantee I probably ran into the back of probably 30 people just trying to like check up. Like it came out of nowhere, hit me.
Yeah, I mean, in I rating screams this. I think we can all agree that Caleb is definitely one of the top 2, 3 drivers in the league.
Of course.
When he was leading the bottom line, it was happening. Like
Yep.
you can't control it. I mean, when a guy like that's leading the line and it's still happening, it's not. It's just the package. The package is shitty running around there.
Yeah, and I think that was my point kind of earlier, like going into the 3 wide thing. Um, for us, like, and maybe this has to do with the package. You guys can elaborate on it, but um, for us, every time we've raced at Talladega, that third line never really gets going. I've never seen in our league specifically that third line actually get up there and have some success. And there were a couple times that the third line would blow past the middle line and the bottom line. And then next thing you know, like you got Kevin Orlando leading the race. And he just came from the outside.
Yeah, I
You
think
even
lending to the package itself and why that works. The one thing about this car is if you like if you bump somebody pretty square, the car can take a massive hit and still go far. Like you can't upset the car. Now, if you get off centered at all and it's awkward, you're coming across the bump in two, something like that, then you can cause some problems. But I mean, you can hit somebody sometimes 5, 6, 7 miles an hour faster than them, and it just won't upset the car. Like if you square them just right, it's just going to go and just straight forward. So that could be part of it. But yeah, the biggest thing is the side draft is massive, which is what allows that third lane to work the best, I think, on iRacing. You see it in real life. The only reason it worked at all in real life on Sunday is because the inside lane was saving fuel. Other than that, it never would have worked.
Yeah, you cannot bump out of two. You have to wait
Mhm.
in that third line. You have to wait until you're down the straightaway. And I made that mistake with my teammate Schaefer coming at it too. We were trying to lead that third line and just barely got into the back of his bumper. I was already locked on his bumper through 1 and 2, and then exiting 2, being locked on his bumper, it just shot him to the inside, back up, and then I think he hit Nick and Wayne, came back up
Hold
the
up.
track and hit me, and
Uh,
then there goes the fast repair out the window with 30 laps to go.
what was the verbatim there? Was it? Yeah, I get it. Team Super Speedway. Do we want to talk about
Listen,
who
listen.
said that?
It was emotions at the time of me very upset about what happened because obviously it was on the backstretch and we were straight. So I'm obviously it's right off the turn, maybe like 25 feet after the turn. My car's straight like this, right? I'm just holding the wheel, la 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 la. All of a sudden, bang! Slams into me on the right side. I go slamming into the inside wall. I am pissed. I am mad, and all I want to know is what the hell happened. And the first thing I hear is Trevor's voice saying what happened. I'm like, you son of a b, dude, because Trevor knows this. He has a reputation at super speedways, not during the race, but obviously at the end of the race for causing an accident. And I was upset, and I
For
said
going
some
for the
things.
win, motherfucker.
I was upset and said some things I probably shouldn't have. But I made a comment about, okay, cool, got it. Your team super speedways. I understand how it goes, and I was upset. But luckily enough, I got over it, for obvious reasons. But me and Trevor are good. I understand shit happens at super speedways, but in the moment, I was a very pissed off individual.
The
Here's the
bad
bad part.
part.
I have that reputation from one damn race. It's
Yeah.
like all the other super speedway races are fine.
No.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here's Mr. Memory
Both
with the
Daytona
facts.
races. Both Daytona races. The one to open this year, the one to open last year.
I
Same
didn't.
thing.
No, I didn't wreck anybody last
Yeah,
season.
you ran
I
through
can tell
somebody
you one
last year.
thing. You didn't wreck
No,
anybody last year at Talladega.
I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna go back now
no.
and look
So
at that first Daytona race.
So
'Cause I'm pretty
Daytona
sure.
last year, I think you only have the reputation because you won that race while the wreck was happening. But
Yeah.
you didn't do anything Daytona
Yeah, I
last
was
year.
about to say
Yeah,
I didn't touch anybody
no.
that first season. Now this season, I mean
Uh huh.
Robinson can attest to it because he pushed me to the line. I
Ugh.
killed the field.
See, I was gonna say
Yeah.
the bad part about Nick's commentary about your team, Super Speedway, was I'm gonna admit this to Bennett because Bennett and I talked about this earlier. Me and Bennett got involved in a wreck there, and it cost me my fast repair. But I keyed up in the admin channel, and I said, "Let me guess, your team, Super Speedway. We get how this goes." Said the same thing back to him. Poor Bennett took the heat on that and didn't even know it. But yeah, I keyed up. I was like 14. What the fuck? And then
Nope,
he said it, and yeah, it was good
we
after that. But
we lost our
Yeah.
gift.
lost our guest. Yeah,
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 he may
yeah.
have. That's okay.
Oh,
We'll get him
I'll look
back.
for him.
Yeah, he had some things going yesterday. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think there he is. I think um I think yeah, that part was funny for me. I did not know that you said that in the chat. And what I'd like you to know is on the other end of things, after you keyed up, I was in there and I was like, dude, I'm sorry. I was like, Nick, make
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
you tell him, tell him I'm sorry. I know what happened. I knew exactly as
Mm,
soon, I think it was Jeff that was
it
on top.
was.
Yep.
Yeah.
As soon as I decided to go down with whoever the hell else I was following, because Jeff was so checked up, I was like, dude, if I hit him and for some reason I don't hit him square and then I take out the field, I was like, dude, I'm never gonna live this down. Like it's gonna be
Which is what you
terrible.
did.
Yeah, well, shut up, Trevor. You're one to talk. All right. But anyways, I tried to make a good decision. I tried to think, okay, if I can just hold it tight here. I felt pretty stable most of the night in my car. And so I was like, I saw Justice on the inside. I was like, cool, he's not going to come up. Maybe I can try and squeeze in here. And then I felt the contact, and then it was just there. I fucking went, and I was like, well, cool. Yeah, didn't work.
Yeah, the exact thing to delve into because Bennett and I had a conversation about it earlier. I was mad in the moment. Obviously, like you get wrecked, you're gonna be mad. But after, I mean, I got halfway down the front straight and went, well, what the fuck did you want him to do? It was four wide. And when my answer was, there's nothing else he could have done, well, then why are you mad? But he did key up. I will say he keyed up and apologized and got ignored. Because I thought back to, do I really want to argue with him here? Like, I'm frustrated. It's not really his fault. Like, it's one of those things that happens here. So I just didn't say anything. And Nick, next thing you know, I hear Nick key up and go, Justice, did you hear Bennett's apology? Did you hear it? He wants to know you heard it. I'm like, yeah, I got it, Nick. I just don't want to key up and say something stupid and piss him off. Like, there's no reason to piss each other off here.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It was just
think
like, make sure he knows it wasn't. I didn't
Yeah.
mean to do it.
I
Yeah.
think I think one of the more impressive things happened in our team chat yesterday, in Performance Motorsports team chat. So you picture this. You got all four of us. I think it was Brube, me, Matt, then Bennett, all on the inside line. We're probably ninth through 12th or something, right? All of a sudden, ding! That's all we hear in Discord. Matt disconnects from Discord. We can't hear him at all. Meanwhile, so maybe like 5-10 minutes goes by. Probably like 5 laps in the race. All of a sudden, ding! We hear him back. We're like, "Hey man, what's going on?" He goes, "Oh, my Discord crashed. I'm on my phone. I put my AirPods in over my headset, and I'm driving again." This guy did this all while still driving behind me up my ass. I think that was the most impressive thing that happened last night.
That was insane. And I couldn't figure out how to turn the push to talk off on my first. So that took me a whole nother lap just to figure out how to turn my push to talk. I could hear you guys, but I couldn't talk because it was on push to talk, and I couldn't touch any other buttons at the time. But I never had it crash. It actually just crashed a second ago, but that was insane.
Yeah, it was nerve wracking. I think we can kind of transition into this other one because of how big the team game on super speedways is, and then to lose communication with somebody that literally I was on your ass and I can't talk to you. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what you're doing. And I will say one thing that I really like about the team that we have right now is the I think Justice put it best earlier is the what how did you word it, Justice? The way that we stayed married, right?
Yeah, you stayed married to each other. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think there's several times in our team chat where the answer is where you go, I go. And that's it. Like it doesn't matter what happens on the choose. It doesn't matter who goes where outside of our team. And I think that's one thing that we do really well that is like super helpful for me personally, right? Is I know as soon as Nick or Matt or Barube they come in and they're like, dude, you pick it. I don't give a shit. I'm on your bumper. It's such a relief to know like okay, it doesn't matter, it's a super speedway, both lines will work and we'll have time to make adjustments and get in the right line if we want to, but to have somebody that I trust that is going to take into account the hey, how well can I take the hit, right? Is he going to be able to push me through a corner, right? Am I going to be comfortable with that? He's going to be a little bit more considerate when it comes to checking up earlier, maybe staying off the gas just a little bit, give me a little bit more room to where I feel like I can breathe rather than, having somebody from another team sitting on my ass. Um, you know, it gets nerve wracking, especially you get in that middle line and then you got somebody, I'll throw Kevin out there because he's a pretty aggressive driver. Somebody like Kevin on your ass. Well, fuck that. I'd rather have Robinson on my ass. Who knows? Hey, I'm not going to shove you into anything, right? So, what do you guys? I mean, what's your guys' take on it? I love the aspect or like the way we do it.
So I hold on really quick just to talk more about performance. The other cool thing that we were doing a lot was, so us four were pretty much in line the whole race, right? So without even telling anyone what to do, is basically whoever was the first car was informing us when the checkups were coming, what line was dropping down, who was going where in front of them, right? Then you had the guy in the back, the fourth car in line, telling us when the runs were coming, when we're ready to make our move. And like you said, it was like whoever was first in line, the other three were talking, wherever you go, we go. So I think one time, I think it was Robinson, you were in front and you decided I'm going to go high. So you went high, Bennett, me, Brube, all followed you right away. And it worked really well for us. I know for us on the super speedways, we have the little Roar alliance with the Rotor Orlando Alves Motorsports or Racing, sorry. Um, so that helps
Wouldn't
us
that
out
be
a little bit.
Rome? Oh, racing.
Roar.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I said
Gotcha.
the wrong
Gotcha.
word. I said the wrong word at first. It's racing.
Uh,
But no, I think our team works really well together. And Alex said it actually before we got into the race at Dega. I don't know if you guys saw it. That he basically just said the short version was I don't care what goes on. I'm just glad I have you guys, and he knows that he has the trust in us that we're gonna help him out. So that's the cool thing, because Alex never had the team aspect of it, the people that I know that have had team aspect can attest to it, like Justice and Trevor, who's always been on a team. They'll say the same thing, that especially at super speedways, it's a necessity to have extra guys in your corner helping you out.
I was a Lone Ranger all night. Um, Parker
What
had
happened to your minor, by
I
the
feel
way?
that.
yeah, Parker had internet issues to start the race and was 2 laps down, and by the time he got back on the lead lap, I had already succumbed to an unfortunate incident between myself and Maddie over here. Um, and then poor Schaefer and his buddy Nicholas, and forgive me because I can't think of his last name because it was his
Shell.
No.
first race.
Not Snell.
Shell. It's like
Snell.
Yeah.
SCHELL.
Yeah.
Shell, like a
So
seashell.
huge credit to those two because they were able to work together. But every time that Schaefer and them would get up to me, I I would be either pinned to the bottom line, they'd be in the middle, or they'd be trying to make the third line work, and then they just go backwards. And so my team unfortunately could never get together at any point. And the one time we did get together, I sent my teammate flying into the infield wall and back up into the field and killing myself.
I
So
mean, I would like to feel bad for you, Trevor. This is a discussion I actually had with Nick a couple weeks ago, and then talked a little bit about it earlier with Nick Bennett and you, and that is I never once was on the bumper or had one on my bumper with either of my teammates that were in the race, Jacob or Wayne. But I feel like over the course of the last couple years, I've made enough allies on those tracks. Guys know that I can take a push or that I can push um, from guys that are on other teams, and so they're a little more willing to help me out when I'm there. So that was nice because I literally never I there was always at least one car between my teammates and I. We never could get together. So that's kind of brutal when you feel like you're the Lone Ranger out there. But you at least got to connect with yours once.
yeah, and like you said, it's nice knowing that you have friends out there that are willing to push you, even though you're not on your team. Like you and I worked together well last night. Me and Caleb worked. Rob and I always work together at super speedways. Well, Robinson and I somehow, I don't know how, but we just find each other and it works out usually.
Every time.
Bennett, I know I gave you a couple shots there last night. Nick, I know I pushed you. I pushed damn near everybody in that field. I mean, there were times where I actually didn't want to jump out of the bottom line, but I had to because my water temp was at 300. And
Let me just say, you didn't push me that I thought was going to was your fucking host here at the end of the stage decides to go, I'm going to go push Kevin Orlando instead of my buddy of 14 years. Let me go push the 2-7 car and try to get him a stage win.
hey, but I got there. It
You
doesn't
got me,
matter.
though.
I
You
got
got me,
there.
dog. Yeah, big push from you and old Matty Rob.
Hey, look, I don't remember that incident, so we'll just
It was
we'll
clear as
just go
day,
there.
dude. You
Ah,
can fake low like you're gonna go help Justice. You're like, Kevin, screw it.
Yeah, Kevin, straight to Kevin on the outside.
something probably got my eye. I was like, and I faked it, and then I
Yeah,
went,
there it is.
and it was probably it. I
The
don't think.
bad part is Matty Rob was following you and then said, "No, fuck this. I'm gonna go help Trevor and Justice." I mean, I'm just saying.
I was getting stage points. I needed them
Yeah,
bad.
that's right. Yeah. Oh, I needed the stage win bad, so I feel you.
That middle line was moving, and I knew if I got behind you two. The thing is like since I've joined, when I joined, like right when playoffs started last year is kind of right when.
Yeah.
And
Just in time to wreck me at Daytona.
dude, I helped you 99% of that
I-
race,
I
and
know.
it is what it is.
Now that it's recorded, I had to throw it in one more time just for
one more,
record's sake.
yeah.
Yep, and now I'm done forever.
It's all right. Rob's not here to pick on me about it. But it's just like I know who I can get behind, and I know who's fast. Like I knew that if I told Trevor to go with the 10 laps to go, I knew we were gonna go to. Right? There's some guys that I wouldn't have even talked up and said let's go if I was behind them. It's just knowing who you're around and who you're with. And back to the teammate aspect of it, I love our team. Like ever since I joined and Nick invited me to the team before the playoffs were even over last year, it was go time for us. Like it was super inviting. And I know Berube feels the exact same way that I do. And I've also noticed that it's changed how he races. He's not as aggressive as he was last year being solo, right? He knows a little bit more to save tires. He knows what he should do when he pits. Like yesterday, every single time he pitted, are we taking 4? Are we taking 2? Are we taking none? Like, what is the situation? Why are we doing this? What's the thought process kind of um
I,
and it's
I can tell you, had I not wrecked with Bennett, I wouldn't have taken tires at all last night.
I'll
see, I
blame
did
it on me.
we did on the stage just because it was like you're not going to lose anything anyway because there's still over half the race left. And then I don't think we took tires at the way end, almost not the way end, but with like 30 to go.
I think we only did it 3 times.
I think every time we were under caution and pitting, I'm pretty sure we just about either we took 2 or we took 4.
Yeah, except at the end before the green white check reel
The
into the
green white check,
fuel.
yeah.
That was
All
just
the
because
other ones, yeah.
everybody was low on gas. But it's just
Yeah.
like it's just knowing who you're behind. Like I knew Trevor I could shove and nothing's gonna happen. And the thing is as soon as I see Justice in my mirror, I know I'm gonna get a shot no matter what. Like it's just as soon as you see all about
Well, clean shot. I mean,
a clean shot, yes. But
Depends if he's
Yeah.
trying to push you out of gas or not.
yeah, but I
Yeah,
know
that's right, yeah.
I know that you're gonna just come out of nowhere and shove me being 5 miles an hour faster than I am. Like it's just knowing who's around you at all times and knowing what you can do with the cars around. I think that's the big key, especially for super speedways.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what makes some drivers, upset last night is they felt like they were getting left, and it's like, well, you've had, 3 or 4 races where you've been in an incident. And yeah, tonight you're running great and you're having a good race, but it still doesn't make people want to work with you. It's that whole trust aspect that Justice was talking about earlier. I mean, you got to keep building that up, and then eventually guys will want to work with you.
When you've
Yeah,
seen
when
a
you
certain
see
car not be able to take a push before, or not be able to push before, I mean, what makes you want to try it out now just because everyone good race?
history
Works.
always repeats itself.
That was the thing.
Bennett's
FYI.
proof, dude.
well,
Bennett worked and worked and worked at it. Now everybody will work with him.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he's one of the top 5 super speedway racers in the league now.
and I mean it's like it goes back to like you have to earn that reputation with people. When I came into the league, Nick, Trevor, Rob, right? Like I had Justice, Grant, and Peyton, right? Like you want to talk about three good drivers, and if Peyton was here, I mean he'd be top 10 driver, right? Um, that's all I came in with to try and do these things and put myself in positions for wins. And I'll shout out Blake too because he's the sole reason I wanted Dega in the first season. But like you have to build that, and I think that's what some of these guys don't understand is like there's so many races where I gave up spots or I didn't get on somebody's ass, I gave somebody room, or whatever, I apologized something just to try and build that, and it comes back around playing the long game of when that day comes on a super speedway, do I have that guy pissed off behind me? Or do I have somebody, like the 4 of you guys, right? That I know if you're behind me, we can work together. And it's gonna do wonders for both of us in every situation. And some of these guys, the argument I had kind of yesterday, like don't understand that. And that's what I'm trying to say. And like you guys have said, you can't just earn respect from somebody in one race. You might be able to get noticed, or oh hey, this is a lot better, but that doesn't mean the next race you're not going to go back and fucking dump somebody because you're getting aggressive.
Well, that was the thing I remembered from all right, well, Kynan, right? His first super speedway race. The one thing he said was, "Damn, I was really fast." And I pulled that line up with everybody behind me and I was like, "It wasn't just you." I was like, "You had 8 guys behind you that caught the rest of the line." And it was like that was his like proving point to everybody that he could do it. But then we go around to the next race and like even at dirt, like he used everybody in the last chance qualifier. Like I was one of the ones that got used twice and I was on the cut line. So it's like I'm not going to push you at Daytona or Talladega. Like I'm not going to push you. I have zero respect for you right now and I don't feel comfortable around you. If you're behind me, I'm going to hit a different line. If you're in front of me, I'm going to pick a different line. It's just
I
that
think
was my
I love it, Maddie.
the
Drop it on
funny
the
part.
podcast. I love
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
Oh yeah.
The funny part though, Matt, you're talking about. Oh, we caught the field. I was dragging that line. We caught the field. he seems to forget that Caleb and them were trying to save gas so that they could be on the same pit strategy as those of us that caught them. Like
Yeah.
I was like third in line in that pack that caught that group. But I mean, Caleb and them were trying to save gas. Like
Yeah.
whoever was in that pack will verify that.
We were in the first group and I was third in line. And I even complained to Nick about it before last night's race. I said, if Rob is saving gas, we are not saving gas. We let 15 guys catch us when it was just 9 of us, and we could have figured it out and saved gas longer on, but instead we saved right from the get-go, and it brought the whole field to us instead of spreading it out and giving us a little bit of a gap.
I think we can go into also on this with kind of talking to the mentality and like gaining respect, and I think this kind of relates to Bristol Derp. Another good thing is the effect that a fast repair has on our super speedways, knowing you can fuck up once and it can be as bad as you want it to be. You can pull who was it we were watching? Our buddy Cody. You can pull a fucking a Ricky Bobby down the fucking track and so bad that you get shot into space right into the pits, and you can still come back out and race like the race just started. And I think that changes the mindset of a lot of guys, and how they race each other.
Yeah, no, given to that point, you're like having that the fast repair basically, basically hitting the reset button. The mentality of basically knowing you have that in your back pocket, I think it allows guys to say, "Hey, cool, it's coming to the end of the stage. I can race somewhat aggressive to get some stage points because I know if I wreck myself or wreck other guys, they'll have that fast repair." But the other thing that you have to remember also, you have other guys with the other mindset of, "I want to stay safe because those guys that wreck will use their fast repair, and then I can be aggressive at the end of the race because I'll still have my fast repair." And some guys are fortunate enough to have their fast repair at the end of the race. Some guys are not. And I think everyone's mentality is different with the fast repair having that. My mindset is I never want to use it. I don't want to have to use it at all during the race because if you end up having to use it, you're basically hitting the reset button not only on your race, but coming back to the field. So whatever you gained during that race, you have to do it all over again and risk getting into another wreck.
So I straightforward, my mindset switched with about 5 to go last night.
Mm.
It was, I haven't used my fast repair. I'm in a good spot. Let's see what's going on. Restarts happened, and I had Rob in front of me, and I was like, it's all or nothing on this third line. We're going to see what happens. And I have my fast repair. And
I wish I would have had mine with you, because
Same.
that's what
I
got
think
me.
Bennett and I lost ours at the same time.
yeah,
Yeah,
but that's just where that mindset is. It's like sometimes it's like,
Mhm.
I don't want to use it. I'm going to save it. I'm going to see what happens. If you get caught up in something that's not your fault, great, use it. And then at the
Funny
end of the race,
part,
it was just all out or nothing. I used it and I had 12 seconds to repair, but I just used it because it was our last green white checker. There was no point in me having any
no point in
damage.
saving it. No,
Yeah.
the funny part is about 2 laps before me and Bennett got into it and wrecked and used our fast repairs there. I keyed up and told Trevor. Trevor was right in front of me. I said, "I'm about to back out of this pack
Yep.
because it was getting extremely racy, and it was still. I think it was like lap, I don't know, 50 or 60, something like that. Like we still had enough of a run to go. I was just like, I can back out." Trevor even said, "If you go, I'll go with you. Like, I'll back out with you. We'll just go to the back of this thing. We'll ride around and let's make it to the end." So that's always my mindset when we go into these things and have one is I want to wait until the green, white, checkered, and that's when I'll use it if I need it. I don't want to have to use it before that. So, hated to have to use it early, but it wouldn't have mattered. It kind of filtered out the same either way. In the fact that I didn't wreck until the last green, white, checkered, along with about 24 other cars. I think we're all involved in that wreck. It was kind of crazy, but yeah, I think that's going to be the kind of the way to go about it. Most of the guys in the league are fast or fast enough. They know. Be patient. I mean, what's the point in wrecking on lap 40 of 94 or lap 30 at the stage? Like, Trevor could have wrecked the field at the stage and just turned me in front of the field and chose not to. So I think it's just about using some brains sometimes, and it goes back to that respect factor of nobody wanted to be around that one car, that one particular car, because of the respect level and just expecting that if we get around him, we're going to have to use this damn fast repair that we don't want to have to burn.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I had to use mine at lap 60, and then
Mhm.
in my mindset's like Nick. My mindset is I race like you don't have one. And what's the safest place to be at a super speedway when you don't have a fast repair? It's out front. So I just try to get to the front of the field and then just ride. But yeah, you had to use mine relatively early, and then when there's 5 to go, 3 to go, I think it was 3 to go when Matt and I made contact. But when you're coming to 3 to go at a super speedway and you're 5th or 6th and you have a run, you've got to take the run. I mean, there's if you wait, you're finishing 20th, and so I know when we made that contact, I know he messaged me last night after the race and was like, "Hey, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Nothing to be sorry about. Two drivers saw a hole, went for it at the same time, and before your spotters could say anything, you're bumping doors and
The
uh
thing is, who knows what would have happened if we both lined up? We were
yeah,
falling coming out of that corner and it just, I was in one and you came down and bumper
met in the
cars.
middle. Yeah,
Yep.
and then I took out Barube.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome that you're just like running through, taking out performance guys. It's super
I-
fucking great. Thank you so much.
I mean,
Yeah,
We
you're welcome.
appreciate it. Our team point standings really appreciate that.
I think it would have been fine, but I think there was a little bit of net code between. I think you went back down. I think there was a little bit of net code, and it just
yeah.
jacked us all up. And then the caution came out like 700 feet later for something completely different.
Yeah, I wasn't even for that
All right. Closing thoughts on Dega. Anything else we want to cover?
I loved
Good
it.
job.
Great time.
Good job, Nick Elves.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Loved it.
Yeah.
Nick with the
con-
win. What a win
Yep.
for Nick.
they need to finish under green flag conditions for once. That'd be fucking great.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Fun fact that they actually sent this in admin chat. Fun fact of the day for you, Bennett and Maddie, that don't know this already. So in the next gen car, we have never finished a Dega race under green, and in the next gen car for season 2 and 3 of Cup, the last 4 races have been at Super Speedways have been won by admins. There's an asterisk at the end of that because Kevin still kept his win from Atlanta. And out of these 7 that we have done so far, 6 of those have been won by admins. So I'm just saying we got a little bit of a trend going between the 6 of us so far.
Hold on, 6
The 6 admins.
7
So out of the 7,
Six of the 7 next gen
yeah.
Oh,
restrictor
okay.
plate races have been
Yeah, we're
won
just not
by
gonna talk
admin.
about the Xfinity one. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
No,
I'll stay quiet about it.
that's why I kept it out. That's why I kept it out.
That's
Mhm.
okay. Well, for
It's all
everybody
right.
who's
We'll change
listening,
it up.
I won the fucking Xfinity one. All right. So, all right. Well, as we leave Dega in the dust for a little while, I think we've got a good stretch before we get back to a super speedway. Playoffs? Or is it right before?
Daytona is right before
Daytona.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Daytona's the
Yeah.
last chance qualifier
Wait,
or
wait,
whatever
no,
it
we
is.
go back to Atlanta before Daytona.
Mhm.
So we
That's
go to
Run
right.
Atlanta
Atlanta
first.
before
Yeah.
that.
Atlanta's
That'd be a
But
fun one
uh,
because it'd be a night race.
Atlanta's part of the Dash for Cash when we go, I believe.
that's
That
right.
is
Yep.
in like 2 months.
Yep.
Ah.
So we're gonna get some good tracks here that are gonna require some skill. We're gonna see. I personally think we're gonna start to see people like Justice, um, those guys who haven't quite got in yet, or have just had a real bad start. I think you're gonna see those people start to sift their way through the field. And that starts next week at Dover. Um, Personally, I have a teammate. Well, 3 of us have a teammate that is super good there. So I'm hoping that's going to work to my advantage. But what's your guys' viewpoints on it? How are you feeling going into Dover?
Oh, I'll start it. Concrete, high bank, very quick. Driven it a couple times already this week in officials. I think Trevor has too. The car is interesting because You have to carry some momentum into the corner. It's super tight. Feels like you're running over the right front. But if you get on that pedal too early on the right side, get up off the corner, come over the bump, you're going to lose the right rear. So this would be very weird. I burned the left front up quite a bit in both races, more than either of the right side tires. So wasn't driving terrible, but it's kind of odd how you have to pivot the car just right. I think you look at guys like Loveland, who's got some short track experience in real life, knows how to modulate the throttle, which Rob referred to a couple weeks ago in his post-race interview. Is you look at Loveland going somewhere like Richmond, somewhere like Dover, Bristol, these short tracks, and that's kind of what he specializes in. So I would expect Trevor, Parker, Schaefer to kind of benefit from maybe something Loveland can teach them, but we'll see what happens. I think last year Berube was probably going to win that race. Just say Forget, that's who he wants to call him. He was going to win that race. Speeds on pit road twice. That's a tough break, but Loveland was also very quick. I think he got wrecked. And Loveland and I had our battle there in the Xfinity car. I think we tried trading wrecking each other for a while the last time we were there in the Xfinity car. So it'll be a good race. I think you're going to see the stars shine, like Bennett was saying. This is where we're getting to the meat of the season, where your fast guys really prove themselves, and you get away from the luck box that was all the super speedways and Bristol dirt.
Yeah, I think low key
I'd like to
hot.
make a comment real quick.
Yeah.
Update for last year when he was speeding, he had French pedals. So we've got him
Oh,
some. We've got him
the-
some American pedals.
So it's in
Gas
miles
is
per
on.
hour and not in
yeah, it's not
kilometers.
instead of kilometers.
Yeah. Well, the big thing was gas is on the right, brakes in the middle, clutch on the left. He's really feeling it now. He's been working with it the past couple weeks. You should see a big difference this time come around.
So he'll speed on pit road, but not as badly.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
unless
do.
Rob's behind him.
I do want to say this about the difference. The car is totally different than it was last year at Dover too, as far as
Oh yeah,
the
100%.
rules package on it. The RPMs are lower, but the other thing is it's very tight. Like I said, last year I think we were all babying the right rear. I think Kynan spent more time in the wall than he did actually running the correct line because of that. But there were a lot of people that were really babying it, and Berube apparently just found where to be with babying it.
My hot take for Dover is it's going to be uh, worse, or if not up there with Martinsville at the end of the season when we go there, with the amount of carnage that you can see, especially coming off of turn two on restarts. A lot of guys are going to get loose, and it's a small track. It's not many places to go, so I think out of, I'm going to say 27 guys start that race, I think you're probably going to see 15 on the lead lap, and then probably less than that, maybe 5 with no damage at all. But I also am expecting a certain teammate to reconcile from his mistakes last year and hopefully get 3 out of the 4 of performance in the playoffs so far.
Maddie, how you feeling going into Dover?
It's a wild card for me. I mean, we'll find out. I need to throw a lot of practice this weekend and see where I really stand. Again, beginning in August, I haven't done all these tracks, right? Done
Yeah.
90% of them. Some of them I haven't done. Dover I haven't touched, not going to lie. I certainly know coming out of 2 it's going to get loose. It's the same as on even just
Do you own
NASCAR.
Dover?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I own all of
okay.
our tracks.
All right.
I have all that stuff. I just haven't touched it yet.
Hey, NIS goes off in like an hour.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
so you know. Good practice.
Yeah. I mean, that's just me being completely honest. Like I said, still a new guy. I mean, my first time on Vegas was our race. And
Oh shit.
I mean, I should have won that race, but I
A
messed up.
hard place to learn Vegas in the race because you either
Yeah.
have to be on the white line or above the second dash mark in 1 and 2. Otherwise, you're just going to across the bumps.
You're picking the front end up off those bumps and plowing to the outside wall.
Yeah.
Somebody clip that. I'd like that for a soundboard effect.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
Oh god.
I'm sure that can happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dover's going to be interesting. I have a teammate who I think has a great shot to win every time we go to Dover. I'm not typically too far off his pace, but just far enough off that I can't stay there with him. Uh, but like Justice said, I mean this setup is really interesting because it plows tight, and then if you overdrive it just a little bit, you'll burn the right rear off again, and then you're plowing tight through the center and then wrecking loose out of the corner exit, and so it's just going to be a fight to who can save tire the best, who can be consistent enough, and and then of course it's short track racing, so who gets run over and who can avoid the calamity of a self cleaning racetrack.
I'll tell you the thing to compare it to as far as the corner. If anybody remembers watching the Vegas playoff race last year, IRL, Blaney overdrove it through 1 and 2. Like on the entry of 1, overdrove it, never could get it back, spun himself, wrecked himself off of 2. That's what it drives like, in all reality. So you're probably going to see that happen from a few people, if I had to guess. This guy.
Yeah, just put it out there. It'll probably be me.
Hopefully I will not be around you when that happens.
You're always around me. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm gonna make sure to like box you in, Trevor. You're gonna be right in the middle.
Fucking, I'll come back out there with a broken toe link and wreck you.
That's
The
fine.
one thing
It's probably
I've
better.
gotten super lucky is with our league, being able to follow some of you guys, right? Even just following you guys in practice has helped me tremendously before the races started.
Yeah,
Like just
you learn
learning your line, your break
Mm-hmm.
points. Like I do it during the race. Like even if I'm losing, like Darlington during the playoffs when Nick and all of those guys were battling at the front, I was a lap down, but I was learning and catching you guys. It was just like just learning every single time. It's been awesome.
every lap you can spend behind somebody that you feels faster than you or they're doing something to outperform you there is a learning experience. That's where I spent a lot of my time learning was having to try to run down Loveland and Rob and Trevor
I
and
tell you,
those guys.
Just
I mean,
don't.
you just get behind them and go, oh man, I gained on them on corner entry. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Did I burn my tire off doing that? And then 5 laps later, they're driving away from you like, yeah, I burned my tire off doing that. So let's try to mimic what they were doing.
I'll tell you. Just watch Parker. If you want to
that's
know,
how you know you're burning your tire off.
If you want to
Whatever
know,
he's
he's
doing.
flying by you.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
doing
Dude,
good.
he's give him 5 laps. He's coming back. He's like a little puppy. Just fucking runs off. And he'll come home. He'll come back. Yeah, you follow him, see what you can do. All right. So Matt, you listen to the podcast, so we end every episode with predictions. Rules are can't pick yourself, and then obviously for the rest of us 4, because we're gonna let you go first, we can't pick your winner. So we discussed a little bit earlier, but go ahead. Let's see who you got for Dover.
Before we do that, can we do the same thing that we did last time, where we pick the winner and then we can pick an upset winner, also someone that we think is going to have a decently good race?
I'm good with that.
Sure. Yeah, we can add a second one every time if we want. Like for Dega was the big one.
It could be
Yeah, I like
random.
that.
Just like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Who burns their
So
tires off
pick
the
a
most? I
winner
got
and a
Parker.
long shot, basically.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Matt, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to go with the 4th member of Performance Motorsports, and I'm going to go with Alex Berube to pull this
Taking
one
the
out.
layup.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to pick against my own team, not going to lie. If we can get number 3 out of the 4 of us in the playoffs, then I'm the only one left, then whatever, right? I'll get in there at some point. My dart at the wall, just
You cut out. Who?
He said Justice.
Justice?
Me? Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeesh. All about hugs up there?
Man, took a long shot on me. Golly.
Damn.
Man.
Did you say cause the big one? Okay.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
that makes
That's
more sense.
No,
possible as well.
that's the guy that's going to spin out coming out of 2. That's
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it's likely.
Well, shit,
I like
Justice,
those picks.
he picked
Yeah.
you, so fuck.
Oh.
Who you got now?
So I'll take the secondary
layup?
layup. Yeah, I'll take the
You
secondary
son of a
layup.
bitch.
Yeah, and take Trevor's teammate Loveland.
Damn
Like
it.
I said, battled with Loveland a little bit before, and that's probably where I gained a lot of my pace at Dover was following that guy around. I mean, you follow, like I said, you follow him around any short track. Listen to how he plays with the throttle. Watch where he enters the corner. Watch how he enters the corner, and you're bound to learn something. You do not know enough about short tracks, so you follow that guy around. If I'm going to take a long shot winner, I got to really think about that one. There's a few guys that I think could maybe jump up, have some speed, surprise people. But if I was to take a long shot winner, I would probably stick on Trevor's team and say the 23 car, Christopher Schaefer.
Schaefer.
Okay, dirt guy into
Interesting.
concrete
Hey,
speed
Schaefer.
demon.
Schaefer sneakily gets top tens and top fives just out of nowhere. You'll look up
You
and
look
you're
at,
like, where the hell did he come from?
I'm a make a point with that. He's a dirt guy, right? And you talk about him being a dirt guy. Where is Larson really good? That's not a dirt track. That's concrete. Friggin' Bristol. So that's why I think it kind of same skill set transfers over here.
All right, Trevor, your teammate, your pick.
Well, damn, Justice took my race winner pick, so I'll take the other, I guess you could say, layup, and
Start letting you guys go last.
I'm gonna go with Caleb.
Caleb, yeah, it's a good one.
So
All right,
I think
okay.
I think Caleb can get it done. I mean, he's up there week in, week out, unless he makes a mistake, like hitting the pit road barrels at Richmond.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm sure he'll love me for bringing that one back up. And
Some of us love that
I
he was out
mean,
of that
Oh
race.
man, I was running top 3 that whole race, and like
I
all of a
was
sudden I'm like, Caleb, where the hell did you go? You were right
right.
behind me.
I was perfectly happy with that race until one of y'all's teammates took out Rob, and
Oh God,
yeah,
I
we're not
was
gonna talk about
perfectly
that one.
okay with that race until I friggin' ran into Dunford's bumper and fucked myself off.
But no, I think Caleb. I mean, he consistently, even at short tracks, shows speed. So I think he'll be one to contend with. And then my dark horse, I'm gonna keep picking him until he either wins it or just absolutely is horse shit at something. But I'm gonna go with Trevor Keith. I'm gonna keep going
Okay.
with this man
Man,
until
Other
he.
Trevor.
he's got to not wreck the damn car.
I know he's got
Ah,
speed, but Jesus Christ, Keith, keep it in one piece.
he's just like me, just like me. Just keep you keep it
Uh,
one piece, you can be a top 5 car.
Nick, you want next? You want me to go?
I'll go just in case you take my
Okay.
guy I'm thinking of.
Okay, cool. Well, that's all right. I had
Uh,
2, so we're
All
good.
right. So, I know we talked about this a lot about this driver, about when and if this is going to happen. I think if things go his way, um, Wednesday night, I think Mr. Rob Rader finally gets out of his slump and gets the first of the year. I think Dover is one of his good tracks. Actually, when Loveland won last year, Rob was catching him, and if they had 2 more laps, Rob would have won that race. So I'm gonna go with Rob, and then my long shot. He's new to the league. He's shown speed. I don't know if he's good at Dover or not, but I'm gonna go with him anyway for my long shot, and that's Mr. Wayne Lowe.
Ooh,
Ooh, okay.
Justin.
Still
another
BDE member?
one that's got to keep the car in one freaking
Yeah.
Just
piece.
keep it on the damn track,
God
man.
damn it, dude.
All right. Well, I guess that just leaves me, really. And since everybody took everybody, I literally was going to pick one after another going down the line.
Thought you said you had
My
two.
my 5th pick. Thank you, Nick. I'll go. My 5th pick is Mr. Jeremy Burns.
Oh God, the
I
button man himself.
I owe
Mm.
Buttons himself, and the reason being is because he had a very hot start to the season. I think now that we're through the chaos, I think he's one of those drivers that when we get through the meat of the schedule, he's going to be good at all the tracks that take talent. And I think it's very doable to see him get up there with every single one of your guys' picks and compete for the win.
You better
Uh,
hope his dorm room doesn't burn down.
That's also a good point. Fires in the dorm room don't help. That's also why he left yesterday while we were racing Dega. For everybody, he's fine. Somebody burned a pizza or some shit. Fucking college
Normal
kids.
college shit, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, fucking college kids.
Uh,
But
Probably stuck a
everything's okay.
styrofoam plate in the microwave.
Yeah, everything's okay. Good to hear that nothing happened for Jeremy. And then my surprise winner I think I'm gonna go. I have two in mind, and I'm gonna say both of them so that it's two people we don't talk about a lot, but I think could use a little bit more recognition. Is Brandon Dunford, who I've seen have some speed in areas. He always seems to kind of be there. Not after some of the chaos, but is there. And then somebody who I had actually, I don't know. I guess he hasn't raced a lot this season, but Christopher Berger, another one who I think has the potential to do something. So we'll see if either of my dark horses can pull it out.
A really good pick. Berger and I have ran in a couple together, and he's usually always right there with me, no matter what track we're at. And he's always got speed. He practices pretty hard.
I'm gonna say this about you poor guys switching from C2C. It's had to be a massive adjustment. We were talking about that with Patrick if you listened last week, and that was you could probably take any one of us, say the top 8 or 10 guys in this league, drop us into C2C, and we would probably win the championship.
You'd get wrecked before you got there.
That's probably true as well.
There's the accuracy.
That's probably a great
There it
point.
is.
Yeah, the old C2C.
Yeah, I mean they have a couple good drivers. They have like 3 or 4 that are like if they got thrown in ours, they would be top 5. They're studs, and they're in it because they race dirt.
Yeah.
They're dirt guys through and through, but I mean they're 3,500, 4,000 I ratings on oval. It's just they don't race it, and who they're racing against, not really competition.
Well, they want some competition.
Yeah, they
Fucking
know where to come on
over.
down.
I know a couple
Yeah.
people I would love to see get kicked. So we won't name names, but waiting on our admin team. I'll be starting a petition after the podcast. Could just contact me, and we'll get some of these guys out of here. All right. As we are coming to the checker flag, is there anything else we want to add about Dega, Dover, about how much we love Matt? Anything?
Love you, man.
Okay, cool. We love you, Mac. I'll
Utter
put
silence.
something. Yeah, just set you guys up. You just tearing me down. That's cool. All right, cool. Well, Matt, thanks for joining, man. It was super good. Super nice having you on here. It's always good to see performance guys around me. I love it. So, yeah, thanks for coming, man.
Appreciate it. It's been fun.
All right, good night, everybody.
I gotta show
Oh.
you something, Matt, before you leave. No, you can cut the episode.
Oh.
You can just-
We got to figure a better way to end this.
Peace out.
All right.
Peace
Thanks,
out.
Justice.
Yeah. You're welcome.